Yesterday we discussed about ring and some examples, and we continued with the properties of rings. Today we are going to discuss something parallel to subgroup. It is a parallel concept like subgroup in group theory. So before that, let us see what a ring lacks essentially, and or what where we get confused sometimes. Okay, so there are 4 5 points. This need to be remembered by all of you, or even me also. So one who wants to study the sub ring and ring, they should remember these things. That a ring is a ring satisfies properties. What? First thing, it should be an abelian group under addition. Second, this should be a semi group under multiplication. And when I say semi group, yeah, this thing should come your mind that it is closed under multiplication and associative. Only two properties, nothing more than this. And third is distributive property. That is the distribution of multiplication over addition from left and from right also. So these three things are required for a subgroup or a set to be a ring. Now, let us see what are 5 points we should always remember. First thing is that a ring in general, not a group under multiplication. Okay, so when we are dealing with a ring, please remember it may or may not be a ring under multiplication. It may not be a group under multiplication. And second is the ring elements have multiplicative inverses. They need not. Okay. So the elements, some elements may be having multiplicative inverse, or none of the element of a ring may have multiplicative inverse. Okay. Just we have seen yesterday. Do you remember example? E, the set of even integers. So there is no multiplicative, in fact, no identity, multiplicative identity, and therefore no is inverse also. That is, there is no unit element, no unit. Okay. And third point is that a ring has multiplicative identity. It need not. The same example will work here. And fourth point is that a ring need not have multiplicative cancellation. So what we have seen in group, uh, that in a group, left and right cancellation law hold. Okay, but because ring is in general not a group under multiplication, so cancellation law cannot apply here. And the last point is that a ring did not have multiplicative identity. Okay, so these are the things we need to. Okay, so let us see further. So subring is nothing but this is an analogous structure in ring theory, play a much less prominent role in their counterpart in group theory. So there is a, when we talk about group, we talk about subgroup. So when we are talking about ring, we are going to talk about subring. Okay. So now what is the definition? As we can fetch a parallel definition from the subgroup. Okay, so what was the definition there when we were defining subgroup? We were defining subgroup as a subset of a group which is itself a group. Then we say that subset is a subgroup. Okay, so the similar definition is here also. A subset S of a ring R, a subset S of a ring R is a subring of R if S itself a ring with the operations of R. All right. So this S should be a subset. First thing, this should be a subset, and S plus should be an abelian group. Abelian group. S dot, this is a semi group. Semi group, and both distributive law plus both distributive law. Okay. So this makes S itself a ring, and therefore, because S is a subgroup of R, so we say that this is a subring. So there are some examples. I have taken initially some examples from your book. 0. 0 is the smallest, you can say that is ring. And 0 and R are subrings of any ring R. And 0 is called the trivial subring of R. So this is evident. Example 9, they are considering a set of 3 numbers, 0, 2, and 4. Is a subring of the ring Z6. The integer modulus, this is a operation is integral modulo, integer modulo 6. Okay. We are considering addition as well as multiplication. Note that 1 is the unity in Z6 and 4 is the unity in this. So you can verify. Of course, 0 cannot be the identity. So among 2 or 4, 1 may be identity, because yesterday we talked about that identity is unique. As in case of we have seen in case of group. Okay. So here in if at all there is any identity in a ring, it should be unique. It is unique always. So you can multiply 2 times 0, 2 times 0, 2 times 0. This is going to be 0. 2 times 2 equals to 4, and 4 is under modulo 6, so 4 is 4. Okay, and then 2 times 4, this is equals to 8, and 8 is nothing but 6, fine, under modulo 6. So we can see that 4 times 0 equals to 0, 4 times 2 equals to 8, and 8 is nothing but 2. 4 times 4 equals to 16. 16 divided by 6 is going to give us 4. So when we are multiplying other elements or all elements of this set 0, 2, and 4, we are getting the same element. 4 times 0 is 0. This 0 is fixed. This 2 is fixed. This 4 is fixed. So 4 is identity here. Okay. And 1 is unity. Okay. 1 is unity in Z6 and 4 is unity in 2, 0, 2, 4. So what we have here, that a unity or identity in a ring and its subring may be different. All right, unity and unity of a ring and its subring may not be same. So you can note it down. Unity of a ring and its subring may be different or distinct. Fine. So this is the example. And next example number 10, for each positive integer n, the set nz, that is they are considering multiples of n times of integers, okay, is a subring of z. So of course you can verify it. So for each value of n, you will be getting a subring. So these are the examples, and let us see 2-3 more examples are there in your book. Example number 11, we discussed yesterday the set of Gaussian integers. So there were two types of Gaussian integers. One simple when a and b are members of Z, and another was when a and b belongs to the set of Zn, the set Zn. Okay, that is integer modulo n. So this is the set of Gaussian integer. This set of Gaussian integer. This is a subring of the complex number C. This is a complex number. This particular type of complex number when A and B are integers. Okay. In general, when we write C, that is this complex number. This is a collection of this form x plus I iota y, where x and y belongs to the set of real numbers. Okay, so this is also a subring. Zi is a subring of the set of complex numbers. Example number 12, R is the set of all real valued functions. Real valued function of a single real variable. Okay, so they are talking about a function fx of a single variable. Okay, so y equals to fx, like this they are talking about. And what else they are telling? Under pointwise addition and multiplication. So pointwise addition and multiplication is defined by these two expressions. Pointwise means like this. Okay, so you have seen that they forms a group. They forms a group under addition. Under addition. Okay, so of course the subset S of R of function whose graph passes through the origin forms a subring of R. So in fact, this is under addition. This is under addition. This is an abelian group, and this is associative. Multiplication is associative. So this R is a ring, and then they are considering as the collection of all those those functions in R which passes through origin. So this is also a subring. So now my question is that you may reply in next class. What if we don't include the condition that they passes through origin? Okay, here it is considered that all those functions, S is the collection of all those functions in R, that ring, which passes through origin. But thing is that what if we don't include this? Okay, if we say that it passes through some other point. Okay, you can take any point in plane. Okay, so you need to answer. You can answer in next class. Okay, so example number 13. Example number 13, the set of 2 cross 2 matrices is a diagonal matrix. The entries in main diagonal is A and B of 2 by 2 types. Okay, where A, B belongs to the set of integers. This is a subring of all 2 by 2 matrices over Z. So all 2 by 2 matrices, yesterday we have seen these examples. Okay, this example we have seen yesterday. So this is a subring of all 2 cross 2 matrices. You can construct more example by changing this Z. You can take Zn, you can take Z2, you can take Z5. Okay. So because this is from Z, so what this this ring will be infinite. This will be an infinite ring. What if you want to construct a finite ring? Here, of course, in matrices you can find a non-commutative ring. In matrices you can find non-commutative ring also. So this is a source of 2x2 matrices are source of so many examples. You can find some finite rings, non-commutative rings, and infinite non-commutative rings also. So in parallel just what we have in a group theory, there is a test called subgroup test. Here we also have a subring test. We also have here a subring test. Okay. So although the proof of this test is there in your book, but let us, for the sake of completeness, let us see how we can prove. Okay. So thing is that they are telling that if S is a any subset, non-empty subset of ring R, then under what condition this S is going to be a subgroup? Something I need to, because I just copy and pasted. I think there is something missing. If not A2 should not be there, but A minus B, I should write A minus B. Okay. A minus B. A minus B. So since R is a commutative, not commutative, R is yeah, R plus is commutative. I can write like this. R plus is a abelian group. Abelian group is an abelian group. Okay. And S is a subset of R. R is the ring. This is not a set of real number. Okay. So by one step test of subgroup of subgroups of subgroup, what we can say about S? S is a subgroup. S is a
subgroup of R plus.
Yes, subgroup of R if A minus B belongs to S. All right. And yes, further, sir. S will be abelian. Why? Because the elements of S are from R, and R plus is abelian. Abelian under addition. Okay. So what else we need? What else we need?
So we need R dot to be
closed.
Commutative. Yes, sir. Closed.
Closed only. Closed will work. Closed will work. So what we need that R should be commutative, and also because okay, because let us take another page. Because R dot is semi-group, so it is associative, So dot is associative in S2. All right, because elements in S are from capital R only. Okay, so because this is a semi group and our dot is associative in R, so this dot will also be associative in S. Fine. What else we need?
Yes, sir.
Closeness. Yeah. So what is left now to make S dot plus S plus dot uh, as a ring is what is a closure property. Closure under multiplication. Thus, if S dot is closed under multiplication, S plus dot thus if multiplication 2, then S plus dot becomes a ring. Okay, and hence a subring of R. Proof is clear to you? So we need two assumptions. We need two assumptions. All right. We need two assumptions. One is what we call difference. Okay. So difference is coming from the subgroup concept. We are just extracting from there. And a multiplication, we need what we need another assumption, because associative will be inherited from the parent sub-parent set, that is R. All right. Okay. So here we have some examples. Let us see these examples. Give an example of a finite non-commutative ring. Give an example of a infinite non-commutative ring that does not have a unity. Finite commutative ring. First, tell me finite commutative ring. Non-commutative, I think. Yeah, non-commutative there. Commutative is okay. Commutative you can find many. Finite and non-commutative. Non-commutativity usually you can find in matrices. Just a few minutes back, I told I gave you a hint where we can find and what are the examples we can. Yes, please, I'm waiting for your answer. Hello. No answer. Okay. M 2x2 matrices. You want finite, so let us take it from Z2. Matrix multiplication in general. Not non-commutative. Okay, So this is a finite and non-commutative ring. What about infinite? Or in general, you can take some other example also. You can take M2 and Zn you can take. So if you are keeping the set here, finite set here, so you will be getting a finite ring. All right. If you want infinite, then you can keep here some infinite set. So what is there? What is the example of infinite non-commutative? Hello. M2 2Z. You may ask me, sir, why you did not pick Z? So because they want infinite non-commutative ring having without unity, I think. Yeah, without unity, I guess. Without unity. That does not have a unity. Okay. Without unity. So this one, M2Z, if you take this, you will be getting infinite non-commutative ring with unity. Next question. The ring 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 under addition and multiplication modulo n modulo 10 has a unity. Find it. So multiple of 2 they are taking. So question number 2, they are taking some set R 0, 2, 4, 6, I think 8, 5 elements. Yes, 5 elements under modulo. Under modulo 10. So 0 cannot be unity. 0 cannot be unity. Rest 2, 4, 6, 8, we can try it out. So 2 times 2 equals to 4. So it cannot be unity because if at all this is going to be, this has to be, if it is going to be unity, then this should be equals to 2, but this is not equals to 2. So 2 cannot be. What about 4? 4 times 0 equals to 0. 4 times 2 equals to 8. And 8, okay, 4 times equals to 8. Essentially, it should be, it should be 2. If at all this is this is going to be identity. Okay, so 4 cannot be. Okay, as this is not equals to 2. Fine. What about 6? Let us say 6, 0 equals to 0. And then 6, 2 equals to 12. 12 you just divide by 10. You will be getting remainder 2. 6 times, okay, until now it is okay. 6 times 4, 24, and divided by 10, 4. Okay, all right. 6 times 6, 36, and divided by 10, remainder is 6. 6 times of 8, 48, and remainder is 8. So unity is what? Unity is 6. Okay, in this case. Next question. Give an example. Give an example of a subset of a ring that is a subgroup under addition, but not a subring. Question number 3. We can take. We need sub. This is subgroup. This would be subgroup, but not subring. Subgroup, but not subring. We can take R as the collection of elements of the type n is square root of 2. You can take 3, 5, 7 also in place of 2, where n belongs to the set of integers. Okay. This is a subgroup of because n is an integer here. So R is a R plus is a subgroup, or R plus is a, this is a group, and also plus abelian. Okay, abelian group. But what we, if you see that n times square root of 2 times m times of square root of 2, this is going to n times of m, and this times 2. Okay, so this is not of the form, this not of this form. Okay, you may sometimes say, sir, can't we write n m square root of 2 and then square root of 2? So this will be form. But the thing is that this is not integer. This is not integer. So we can we can write like this, but this doesn't belongs to, this doesn't belong to R. So this is not closed. Of course, associativity is there, but this is not closed. So this is a subgroup, but not a subring. Question number 4. So by example, that for a fixed non-zero element A and B in a ring, the equation AX equals to B can have more than one solution. Okay. In a group, we have seen, in a group, AX equals to B has a unique solution because of a unique inverse and existence of identity, necessarily cancellation law and all. Fine. So many properties a ring doesn't possess with respect to multiplication, as we have seen in the starting. We have listed 4 or 5 of them. But thing is that they wanted some example. They want some example here. Okay, that this equation in a ring has doesn't have unique solution. So we can consider 2x equals to 2 in Z4. Okay, that is, this 2 is from Z4. This equation has solutions x equals to 1 and 3. You can see from here 2 times of 1 equals to 2, 2 times of 3 equals to 6, and this is equals to 4 under modulo 4. Okay, sorry, this is equals to 2. So both are the solution. Whereas in a group, when we consider as a group, you know, this is not a group under multiplication. You remember or not? Zn is a group, if and only if n is p, that is prime. Okay, so that's why it is happening. But in case of group, if you are taking group, then this equation should have a unique solution. Fine. What else? Then problem number 5. They want proof of 12.2. Yeah, yesterday we have seen. I asked you to prove that uniqueness of inverse and identity if it is there. Okay, so that you can prove. This will you can get in your book, or we have discussed in the last semester. You can get the solution from there. Question number 6. Find an integer n that shows that Zn need not have the following properties that a ring of integers has. Okay. Is the n you found prime? Is the n you found prime? Okay. So they are telling that you need to find some n for which this property is hold. Okay. So they are asking that whether this n is prime or not. Okay. So you can take some z n equals to 2. All right. N equals to 2 if you are taking. So you will be getting z2. Okay. So 2 z2 is, you will be having this like this. Okay. So a square a. So if you are telling 0 square equals to 0, and other element you are taking 1 square equals to 1, you are getting. So this holds here. Okay. And remember that 2 is a prime. 2 is a prime. Similarly, if you are, we can take some other set. Let us see. Z. Let us take Z4. In Z4 we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So what we have, a square equals to a. I think this, they are telling that this should imply that a is either 0 or 1. Okay. So what we get from here? 0 square equals to 0. Okay. 1 square equals to 1. Okay. So actually what is happening here, a square minus a, what we do, this is not part of this calculation, but what we do like this. We do like this. Okay. And then we equals is to 0. So we say that a is either 0 or a is either or 1. Okay. Like this. So what is there in, if 2 is there, 2 is square equals to 4 and 4 is 0. 2, okay, 2 is this becoming 0. Okay. Here you note that 2 is neither 0 or 2 is neither nor 1. Okay. So if we are not taking prime, then we are getting difficulty in establishing that one. This holds, but this doesn't imply that 2 is 0 or 2 is 1. So we are able to get this one. Whereas if you are taking any, suppose you are taking Z3, so in Z3, 0, 1, 2, you will be getting, and you can see 0 square equals to 0. Okay. And of course, this 0 is 0 itself. So 1 square equals to 1. So this is 1. 2 square equals to 4. 4 is what? 4 is 1. 4 is 1. All right. 4 is 1. And this is not equals to, this is not equals to, this is not equals to 2. Okay. This is not equals to 2. So they are telling that if this holds, a square a implies a either a is 0 or a is 1. They are again telling a b equals to 0 implies either a is 0 or b is 0. Okay. So here if we 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. So at least one you are having 0 here. Okay. At least one you are having 0. 1 times 2. This is not equals to, never, this is equals to 2. Okay. And see, we don't have other options, I think. Okay. Here you see 2 times 2 equals to 4, and this is equals to 0. Neither 2 is, none of them is 0. Here you see, none of them is 0. Okay. So when there is a n is prime, we are able to see that we are able to see that these all three holds. Okay. So n should be prime in general. N should be prime. So you can take some fixed prime and then you can verify it. Okay. Fine. So with this, let us conclude the discussion. If you have any doubt, you can message me. We will discuss tomorrow. Let me give you more more clarification on it. If you are taking any, you take any number such that a square equals to a. Okay. So what 0, a equals to 0, this will hold, a equals to 1, this will hold. Fine. This will hold by default. Okay. What about 2? 2 is square equals to 4 and 4 is 0. 4 equals to, this is nothing but this is 0 and this is not equals to 2. Okay. 3 square equals to 9. 9 is under modulo 4 becomes 1. This is not equals to 3. So only two elements are satisfying this property. Here also 2 elements are satisfying these properties. Okay. 2 square is giving us 4 and 4 is nothing but under modulo 3 is becoming 1 and 1 is not equals to 2. So when this condition hold, okay, when these conditions hold, okay. So they are talking about in general of all 3 conditions, okay. The following properties that a ring of integer has, okay. This should. So we have seen this. This is happening here in both the cases when n is non-prime and when is prime. Okay, in these 2 particular cases. And the second one, a times b equals to 0 implies a is 0 or b is 0. But this is not happening here. This is not happening here. You have seen here. 2 times 2 equals to 4 and 4 is equals to 0, but neither of these 2 is 0. But here, if you see, if the product of any 2 is 0, then one of them is going to be 0. Here, you can see. Fine. So like this.
Thank you for watching this video. To stay updated, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cosmos Learning. Happy learning through Cosmos Learning. To watch more, click on any of these cards. Thank you once again.